Honda Prelude 1978 to 2001. The Honda Prelude was a sporty coupe built for 5 generations on the platform of the Honda Accord, and until the debut of the Honda NSX, it was the most exclusive Honda model. The first generation Prelude 1978 to 1982. The first generation Prelude was based on the Honda Accord, but while the Accord had a monocoque body with a subframe attached, the Prelude had a monocoque body with an integrated subframe. The suspension was also tuned for much better responsiveness than the Accord, with a high yaw gain in the rear, making the car behave in corners like a rear-wheel drive, with sliding of the rear, overcoming the understeer usually found in the front-wheel drive cars. In 1980, the car receives a minor update, with better quality interior materials, sunroof, engine, and transmission improvement. A unique feature of the first-generation Prelude was the fact that the speedometer and tachometer were concentric. Most of the Prelude models sold in Japan were available with hood mirrors, and few of them were available with regular mirrors like the ones sold outside of the Japanese market. The car has been revised again in 1981 with a new dashboard and the addition of cruise control and a navigation computer, while the sportier version XX received 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes. In Japan, there have been sold a little bit over 41,000 units, but the worldwide sales totaled over 310,000 units. The second generation Prelude 1982 to 1987. The second generation debuted in November 1982 with a lower hood and profile, a wider body, and retractable headlights. The car debuted with hood mirrors for the Japanese market, but they were quickly changed to regular mirrors like the export version. One visible difference between the Japanese market model was the single windshield wiper, while the export versions had dual wipers. Same as the previous generation, the Prelude had high-tech features, like the navigation system, adaptive power steering with an easier effort at lower speeds, and a system similar to ABS that was called ALB. The car was powered by a 1.8-liter 4-cylinder engine mated to a 4-speed automatic or 5-speed manual transmission. In 1985, the sportier 2.0 SI model has been released with a personalized design mostly visible in the front fascia and hood, an upscale interior trim, and a more powerful 2.0-liter engine. In total, a little bit over 166,000 units have been produced. The third generation Prelude 1987 to 1991. Released in April 1987, the third generation kept the same design theme as the previous one, with a low wide body and pop-up headlights, and carried over the same engines and transmissions. The third generation Prelude was the first mass-produced car in the world to have a 4-wheel steering system, which is another attempt by Honda to combat the understeer of front-wheel drive cars, and it outperformed any other sports cars of that time in slalom speeds. Although Honda viewed the 4-wheel steering as an exclusive option, the majority of the buyers opted for that system. The SI sportier model had a slightly differentiated design and came standard with 4-wheel steering, ABS, limited slip differential, traction control, and upscale interior trim. SI came standard with the more powerful 2.0-liter engine, and in the USA there was also an option for a 2.1-liter engine that became also available in Japan under the name SI States. For the Japanese domestic market only, there was also available a differently designed version called DNX, with regular headlights instead of the pop-up headlights, a different bumper, rear headlights, and side panels. A special edition model was also available, with an exterior aero and appearance package. Production of the third generation Prelude ended in 1991, with a little bit over 175,000 units sold. The fourth generation Prelude, 1991 to 1996. The fourth generation Prelude debuted in September 1991 and came with a totally different design language. The car was wider but shorter, with a smaller cabin space. Same as the previous Prelude, It also came with four-wheel steering, but it has been changed from a mechanical one to an electronically controlled one. All versions of the new Prelude used the 2.2-liter four-cylinder engine. Later in 1993, a minor facelift has been operated, especially around the headlights, while the center rear console was dropped, increasing the seating capacity from 4 to 5. The sportier SIV Tech came standard with four-wheel steering and a more powerful engine with a variable valve timing electronic control system. Sales were lower than the previous generations, and just a little bit over 85,000 units have been sold. The fifth generation Prelude, 1996 to 2001. The fifth generation changed again the design, returning closer to the third generation. The dashboard returned to a more traditional style, and the car was more comfort-oriented than the previous model, a thing that can be also seen in the weight distribution, as the previous model was very close to a 50-50 weight distribution. The fifth generation was close to 60-40. The SIR model came with a more upscale trim, with leather and a navigation system, while the S-Spec version of the SIR added an aero and appearance package. The Type S came with an upgraded and more powerful engine than the previous generation, a driving force distribution system that later evolved into the super-handling, all-wheel drive system found in today's Honda and Acura models. The SIR also came with a different all-wheel steering system, with an 8 degrees angle instead of 6, and its automatic version had a sequential gear shift for manual speed change.